everybody.
Hey.
How's it going?
You say hello to nobody.
I know, right? It's kind of nice doing these recordings because you don't have to keep up with the comments, and that's a whole nother job.
Well, then afterwards, when they're watching it, we can be in the comments.
Yes.
Because you do it. Do you do it like a premiere? So when they so people will watch it live?
Yep.
Cool. Oh, I'll be in the comments. You know,
Yeah.
so if anyone says anything about me, I can say something straight back to them.
Yeah, and you'll be paying attention more than missing something, right? I get it.
So Paul and I were talking this morning, and he loves what was the solid black.
Yeah.
Blue tongue you were showing off last night.
Yeah, so that's hypermelanistic. So yeah, like I started with I started with reptiles because my mum's a vet. She's actually an equine biologist, so she does biology on racehorses. And so growing up, we had a laboratory in our house. We used to breed rodents for testing. And my mum and I would go to horse trainer stables and take blood tests, and she would give them drugs and all sorts of stuff, right? Like with racehorses. Right. And so but she's a veterinary biologist, but she sort of focused on equine. And then she did a lot of she used to before the Melbourne Zoo had their own laboratory in house. She would do blood tests for them. She'd do blood tests for other vets. She would blood test for racehorse trainers. So with racehorses, you can give them certain levels of different things. Like you can give them bicarbonate soda because bicarb helps reduce lactic acid in the muscles. And so they can have a certain level of that, but they can't have too much, right? Otherwise they're doping. Yeah. Right. And so she would have tests to work out that they were under the levels, and she designed formulas for horse racing trainers. So they would give them the right amount of bicarb per body weight of the horse, and so they wouldn't go over on race day and things like that. So that was what I was into. So we had a lot of animals, and we were sort of pretty animal family, growing up. But I'm a really bad asthmatic. So I get allergies, and my asthma gets triggered by fur, and animal hair. Yeah. And so I did have animals with fur growing up, but I did a lot of fish because they were good for my asthma. And then I was always keen on reptiles, and then as an adult, I hadn't really had any animals for ages. I just had dogs. But I always had to have outside dogs because they weren't good for my asthma. And so I sort of wanted to get into something. And for Christmas, I don't know now, 5 years ago or so, I decided to get a blue tongue for Christmas. Or my birthday, one or the other. My birthday is quite close to Christmas. So I decided to get myself a blue tongue as my Christmas birthday. And then it just, spiraled from there.
From there.
So is that all you do now? Is your reptiles for work?
Sorry, say again. Your audio cut in and out then.
Okay. Is that all you do for work now? Is your reptiles?
Oh, no. So I work for a water tank manufacturing company, and we make water tanks for the building and construction industry. But me personally, I just do I do that as my full-time job, but I'm in this room, and then I do the reptiles as a hobby. Yeah.
Oh, but you do profit off of them, right? I hope.
Yeah, so the reptiles that I make if I lived in America would be a full-time job, but living in Australia, they're a bit more common, so they're not as profitable.
I got you.
Yeah, but they're cool. So yeah, we make enough to pay for our hobby and pay for our equipment and food, and we make a bit of money. Yeah.
That's good. Because I'm not making anything yet, so it's just working that money over. And I know Paul's been doing the same thing, but he's buying some banging stuff. So
I mean, I guess you gotta take that step just to
yeah,
you gotta
that's
spend
right.
money to make money.
I'm gonna plug my headphones into my mic because they're not working the best. Let's see if it helps them out. This side.
All right, is that better?
Yeah, it's way better. Yep.
Okay.
So, like, how do you like doing the Bronx Down Under show? How has it been for you?
It's great, like it's the reptile hobby's been a lot of fun because of all the people I've got to meet, and like with any hobby, there's people you get along with and people you don't, obviously.
Right.
So, I've met some really great people. I've met some great people that have turned out to be shit people. And then, so I've made some great friends. And becoming friends with Chris, it's funny because it's a little bit about the reptiles, but then we just became good friends because we have a similar sense of humor and we enjoy the same things outside of the hobby,
Right.
And it was his idea to do the Bronx Down Under show. So just a show with three reptile guys that isn't about reptiles, it's just about whatever and really about
I get
nothing.
to sit backstage and go like this because somebody will say something and I'm just like, why? If y'all could see my response, I know Chris can see it.
Yeah.
But you guys can't. And sometimes I'm just like hitting the desk going, why did they say that? And oh my gosh, I can't believe this and I can't believe that. But it is very comical to watch you three guys just go at it.
Yeah, and so it's fun, and so I've become friends with Brian as well,
Acquaintances.
Oh no, I'm friends with Brian. It's not the same friendship that I have with Chris. I think Chris is definitely the glue between the three of us.
Right.
But I find I really like the show Brian does on his own on a Wednesday morning. I think he's an interesting guy. He has very strong opinions. He has differing opinions to me on some topics, and then some topics we have very similar opinions. If not the same.
I think that's what makes it too, because then you feed off each other and bicker back and forth or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you could see that, and that's what makes it funnier.
Yeah, 100%. The one thing I say about Brian, even if I think if you ever needed him, he would do whatever he had to do to help you. So. Not that he could do a lot for me being all the way on the other side of the world, but if something bad happened to me and I needed support, Brian would support you, even with his persona being a dick, so I think he's a great guy. And we have a lot of things in common, we have very similar family values and parenting values. He's very close with his son, and so am I. And he's a dedicated family guy with his wife, and so am I. And so those sorts of things certainly, I have a lot of respect for Brian in that way. So I think we have some common ground there,
Yeah.
So, but no, it's great, really fun. I really enjoy doing the show. I'm looking forward to Chris recovering from the trouble he's had lately with his health, and we can get back to it. We'll definitely get back to it. That's for sure. We've really enjoyed doing it so far, and we look forward to getting him back.
Absolutely. And we heard the bad news today, which is we're pre-recording, so this is on a Sunday. We've seen his Facebook post, very sad, but if it helps him get out of pain, man, I'm all about it. That nerve damage stuff is just so painful. Yeah,
so hopefully he has a speedy recovery, and
I think
we
he
can
will.
get back.
I think that's what his like he want. Like, I mean, at one point or another, he was saying that the pain was gone. So like he needed to get do what he was going to do. I think.
Yeah, I think he wanted to just get it
Yeah.
over and done with and move on, with his life. So, yeah, good luck to him,
And I mean, he's being more positive than I ever would have been in that same situation. I would have been devastated, and he's just like, "Let's do it, so I can get on with it."
It's funny. He's a pretty for the way I guess he come across on his show and all that. He's a very positive guy.
Yes.
He really is super positive. Like that's one of the great things about doing the show with him, how positive he's been about pushing the show and,
right.
the work he does behind the scenes. He does a lot of work. Me and Brian just show up,
All knows that.
He does a lot of work, so,
right.
it's fantastic for us.
Absolutely. And like you said, the sooner he gets back, the better. Y'all can get on with it. I think it makes him feel better too.
I fucking need the Bronx down under in my life.
Well, it's fun, and it's all in good fun. We hang shit on people. Some people we hang shit on that that are actually shit people. Some people we hang shit on because we think it's funny, like Paul, and it's and that's I guess the sort of friendship group we have, like Paul and Kevin doing the fight, that's
what this fight right here. I got to stir that pot.
Oh, geez, you just click on the button. So, like even doing stuff like that, I mean, that's sort of like, it's a lot of fun, and that's what I like about the group of people that we're friends with and stuff. And
I think that
I must say, Paul, that you need to regrow that beard because you look a lot scarier in that photo at the end of that package than you do at the moment.
Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to. That's why I had to get rid of it right now for work.
Oh,
yeah. Otherwise, I would have it. I would have it really long right
now. You do look tougher with it. Yeah.
In person, he has such a baby face, and I was like, wow, he's a baby.
Baby, but I'm just as old as you.
You see all that gray hair. But yeah, back to Chris, like, people are quick to judge, and I watched another podcaster's podcast today and was very not disappointed in the podcaster at all, but the guest that she had on, and controversial and stuff like that. My daughter is always preaching about trying to keep your peace of mind. That's something hard to do. And in this industry, all the drama and everything, you're just like, you know what? You really got to watch your mind more than you do your mouth.
Well, yeah, look, I probably have to watch my mouth. I've said a few things on the shows that have caused a bit of shit, but you
like it.
Oh, look, it is what it is. It's whatever. He's
like, man, no drama this week. Oh, he needs drama in his life.
I haven't. I've never done anything to actually intentionally upset someone. People just sometimes like getting a bit upset sometimes, and that. And maybe
a lot of your posts have a lot of.
They don't. I don't know. People just sometimes don't, take the time to understand the other person's point of view, and they're quick to judge, and then it becomes a bigger thing than it should be really fast. And I just think that's a shame. And a couple of people I have had maybe a few little issues with, once they've taken the time to understand my point of view, and I've taken the time to understand theirs, we've worked it out, So
Right.
kudos to them, So yeah, that's all
Right.
good.
I think
Well-
in the drama world and everything, that it just becomes being a child, at one point or another, that that it just keeps going and somebody drags it. But I mean, it's always going to be like that, though. No matter where you go, even at a job or anything else, you're always going to find some asshole or that's going to bash on somebody or other way. That's just the way it is. I mean, it's life.
Yeah.
So you just
It's
scroll through it.
worse when you've got one of these,
Yes,
Oh,
keyboard
100%.
warriors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I bet you they don't say the same stuff, when you bump into each other at a show,
Yeah.
So
Right.
it just is what it is. So
Yeah.
you gotta just remember that and not get too upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be hard.
You might see red.
I've only had one little hiccup with we lost Luke.
We lost Luke. Where'd Luke go? Oh, he
Anyway, I
must have hit
only
a
had
button.
one little hiccup with somebody leaving a comment on a video, and not mine, but that's the only one I've ever had a problem with in a reptile industry so far, which I'm sure
Always-
I'm barely scratching the surface. It's going to
Yeah,
happen,
yeah.
but
There he
once it does, that's fine too.
Sorry, I don't know. Just went to like the end screen. I was like, "What's going on?"
I know what it is. He's trying to be like Brian now and have that bad internet.
No,
You got that dial up still? Jeez.
his internet's always perfect when it's his show, and then 5 minutes,
It is
before
amazing
Bronx
about
Down
that.
Under, it's always terrible. So.
It must be that broadband. At nighttime, it's different. It's
Yeah.
different during the morning and different during the
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, 7 a.m. There's no one up. Everyone's asleep.
So you're going to Tinley this year, right?
No.
No, I wanted to go to Arlington. I wanted to go to Arlington this year, but with Chris not being well, we hadn't got ourselves ready in time. Really, we were going to miss it anyway, and now Chris isn't well, so it sort of worked out okay. So no, I won't get to a show in the US this year. For next year, though, my brother is getting married in Italy in June, and it's the weekend after the ham show. So the ham show in Germany is basically the biggest show in Europe, in the world. It's definitely the biggest in Europe. It's bigger than, it's maybe the same size as Tinley, but it's more of a variety of animals. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of lizards, a lot of all different snakes, sort of really crazy stuff. So the ham show is the biggest one in Europe, and it's the weekend before the wedding. So I've been talking to a friend of mine who is in Denmark, and he's a blue tongue guy, and I think we're going to go to the ham show with him. So that'll be my first overseas show.
Okay.
And then I'd like to do one of the American shows next year, either Arlington or Tinley in the back half of the year. But definitely ham in June is a lock, because I've got to go for the wedding anyway. So
That's pretty
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might as well.
We're gonna have to figure out a way to go see Chris whenever we go to Tinley. Because
yeah, well, how far is Tinley? Oh, how far is
It's
yeah,
a far
Chicago.
drive. It's like 10-hour drive to go to get to Chicago by me, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's probably yeah.
we'll have to figure something out.
Cool.
Okay, that was not a good awkward silence.
What?
We're only not even 20 minutes into the show yet.
20
I think
minutes
we're all
into it.
tired. Last night Luke, it was daytime for him, but it was our nighttime. So
Yeah, everybody was like not winding down. Everything was getting all riled up.
oh, I know.
Yeah, that was a good show last night.
Yeah.
But I definitely liked you popping on and showing everything. Even though my face wasn't on camera, I was watching everything you were pulling out.
Yeah. So like this is my new room. So I've got all my blue tongues are on this wall. I keep
What do
them
you
in a
have? How many
mixture.
do you have?
Adult breeders, I've got 25. So, which is a lot because lizards are a lot different to work with than snakes. I mean, they eat every second day essentially, or maybe 2 or 3 times a week. They poop a lot. You got to clean them up a lot more. So, I would say there's more hands-on work with lizards and snakes. I've never had snakes, but from what people tell me,
I believe that.
So I go through every blue tongue's enclosure once a day as a minimum. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So every day, I open their enclosure. If their bedding is clean, it stays. If it's not, it gets changed over. Their water gets changed every day, and they get fed a few times a week.
Yeah, no, I was watching some of your clips, and you getting preparing all those little plates. So
all little bowls. Yeah,
100% more time consuming for that than I believe than having snakes. When you could feed your snake. I mean, and then 2 days later it goes to the bathroom, you clean it up, and then you could leave it for a couple of days before you go back downstairs or wherever your room is. To be honest.
Yeah. No, you got to check them every day. That's 100%. Well, that's how I would do it. I mean, some people don't, but I'm just not into that. I like to check them every day. They tip over water bowls. They, they walk through they defecate and they walk through it. It's just you got to clean them every day.
What about the process with Snoopy and everything? How often are you working with Snoopy and
so the monitors are probably not as labor intensive because they don't eat quite as often, and they're not as messy, and they're in a much bigger enclosure. So even if they do defecate, they don't essentially walk through it or make as much mess,
Right.
But I am working with the monitors a lot because they're still young. An adult lace monitor bite is a nightmare. You know what I mean? It's going to mess you up. So I'm handling them as much as possible to get them used to being handled and taken out of their enclosure a lot because I want them to be safe for my kids and for me and stuff. So I do quite a lot of work with them, to be fair. But their enclosure's right here. Like I'm tapping on it there. It's like right next to me.
I've seen those enclosures. They're gorgeous.
Yeah. So I can see them from here. Yeah. But like my main thing is the blue tongues. That was my main, I guess, passion, and that's the reptile I really like the most. So that's what I focused all my breeding on, and then it just sort of grows from there, I guess. I really like all reptiles, and I love the lace monitor or something big. So that's why I've got a couple of lace monitors, and I've got 3 Gillen's monitors, which are pygmy monitors, small ones. And
I don't guess I know what that one is.
What was that? Sorry,
I don't know what that one is.
Varanus Gilleni. It's a Gillen's monitor. I got it out last night. Little brown one.
Okay.
Yeah, a little tiny monitor. So it's a pygmy Mulga monitor. It's a pygmy monitor. Really small. I've got 3 of those. But all my monitors are about a year old, so I haven't done any monitor breeding yet, just breeding the blue tongues.
What is is the temperament different from a lace monitor to like an Asian water monitor?
Yeah, from what I've seen, I think the Asian water monitors are a lot easier to tame than the lace. The lace are a bit crazier. From what I've seen.
I've seen that jumping around.
Yeah, and so a lace monitor is a tree goanna or a tree monitor. So it's a big tree. It's a big climbing monitor. So like a water monitor is a bit slower moving. A bit more docile, I think, than a lace. Lace are a bit crazy.
So do you have any snakes at all?
No, none.
No. Don't want any
No
either.
snakes. I like snakes. I find them really interesting. I've just never
Do
sort of
people
thought
have
about
ball
it.
pythons down in Australia? Like, is
No.
that at all?
That's
Right?
all. No, not at all. Well, I'm sure there's some here illegally, but there's none here legally. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right.
So you're only allowed to have Australian native species in Australia, and there's no legal importing or exporting of reptiles. Occasionally, you see the odd news clip, where a bikie club gets raided and they've got a albino berm or something in there. You know what I mean? Like, but we don't really have. There's not really an exotic reptile trade.
Well, from what I hear, y'all don't need any more animals there because everything you have there, it's either going to look at you and kill you, or
yeah, like
terrified to go there.
The Australian native species are great. Like, my wife looks after bearded dragons, so she's got a really big bearded dragon breeding program as part of our lizardmorphs. So I'm pretty sure we'd be one of the largest bearded dragon breeders around.
Shit.
Yeah. So last season we bred like 500 babies.
You bred 500 babies?
Yeah, we hatched about 500. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of Holy
yeah.
shit.
So we do a lot of bearded dragons. This year, Emma, I think, is trying to breed 4 additional females than she did last season. So it's, all going well. It should be a really big season. We did just build these 2 new rooms and we moved into them during the brumation period. So hopefully we haven't knocked any of the breeding cycles around or anything. But, but yeah, look, it'll be what it'll be. But yeah, so Emma does a lot of breeding and babies and bearded dragons, and we mostly supply pet stores all around our state, a couple of interstate stores, and then we sell a few privately, but mostly to stores. Mostly we wholesale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really good.
That's
a good thing to have.
Yeah, I mean, the retail stuff is a bit of a pain, it's hard work, so the wholesale stuff's great. Even the blue tongues I bred last season, I had three litters of the hypermelanistic, the black ones that you like, Paul. And yeah, I sold them all to stores. Yep.
Sold them all to stores. Now, so something like that goes for you. I think we were talking. I think I'm not sure, but 1,500 you said, or something that was sticking.
Yeah, it's maybe anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500,
right,
depending on the quality of the animal. Yep.
Here.
Yep.
How much are they here?
About 15,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I seen one for 20 grand.
Yeah, I think we're about 10 times the value. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do get, you get a lot of unscrupulous people, messaging you and saying, hey, what are you breeding this season? Can I come and buy it? And,
Yeah, but that is such like, I get it. Trust me, if we could do anything, I would take one in a heartbeat. But like, that's just like how, that's a big gamble.
Well, yeah, in Australia, the laws are very
right.
The laws are tough. You'd go to jail for it here.
Yeah.
You'd lose your reptile license. You couldn't keep them anymore.
Yeah.
You have to be licensed there?
Yeah, so certain animals need a license and certain ones don't. So bearded dragons, in my state, bearded dragons are under license. The lace monitors, the Gillen's monitors, they're all under license, but the blue tongues are not under license in Victoria. But it's different in every state.
Right.
Everyone has, all the states have some sort of reptile licensing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Different levels of animal, and they incur a different type of license.
Yeah.
So
on your what Emma does, I don't know anything about them, but isn't there different morphs and colors of those as well?
Yeah, so Emma works with a whole range of different colors and mutations. Like there's hypo, leatherback, normal scale. Then there's zero, which is a white mutation. We do a lot of zeros, or white ones.
Mhm.
There's whiplets, which is another patternless mutation, but it holds some color. There's a whole heap of different
I think
ones.
I see like red and then black too as well.
Well, they're not black; they're more just like really dark red over there.
Yeah.
There is red. We don't do red. We'd like to get into some of the darker colors, but at the moment we do what they call citrus, which is like a yellow,
Mhm.
and we do a lot of orange, and then we do the zeros, which are the white ones. That was sort of our main interest when we first started, was doing the white ones. Yeah.
Now they're worth more, right?
Yeah. The different patterns, the different colors are worth more. 100%. Yeah.
But the zero is like up there.
The zero's one of the most expensive mutations here. Yeah. And there as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a recessive,
Okay.
So high. Yeah. So the zero and the whiplet, the two mutations we do are recessives. The red ones and stuff you see, that's just polygenic. So that's just color. You just breed for color. It's not a mutation. Yeah.
Oh.
From my understanding. Yeah.
Well, I've been wanting to get a red one for a while now. So, but I did see somebody in Baker's Patreon said they had some zeros, and I was I want to look into that.
Yeah, the zero's the white one. The zeros are cool. I know a few good guys over there that do the bearded dragons. So, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
You can give this
Friends
the hookup.
all over.
So, but yeah, it's breeding season now. So all the lizards brumate. Like you don't brumate snakes, right? They don't.
No, but not the ball pythons. Well, but I know like there's students. I think colubrids that you
colubrids. Yeah, so they do a brumation like a.
Yeah.
So yeah, we cool everything. So like no heat, for up to 3 months. We brumate our lizards over winter. So we fully cool them, put them to sleep. No food, no heat. We reduce their light cycles, so the room's a bit darker, and just get them to go down, and then warm them up, and then
what do you
drop
the temps at? And do you keep them in a room, or do you have a huge what's it called? Incubator does that now? Like the micro bank?
Yeah, no, we just cool them in their enclosures. So, like for the blue tongues, I just turn their heat source off altogether, and they just get the ambient room temperature. And then I've got an air conditioner in the room, so I can cool the room down enough at nighttime, or I can open a window at nighttime if I want to get it really low.
How low is like the normal temp to start brumating them and everything like that?
So they're probably getting a maximum of about. Do you want it in Fahrenheit? You probably do, huh?
Yeah.
So we want 50. So they'd be getting a maximum of maybe between 50 and 60 during the day.
Wow.
And they'd be getting about 40 at night.
Oh shit! Okay.
Wow, that's really cold.
Pretty cold, yeah.
That's pretty cold. I mean, if you're dropping your room to 50 or 60 degrees, I mean 60 I can see, but like 40, 50.
Yeah, well that would be leaving the window open, having the heat source on.
That's true. Yeah.
And they stay that away for a month, you said?
What was that, sorry?
You said they stay that away for like a month?
Up to 3 months.
Up to 3 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty much all of winter,
Mm-hmm.
No food. So we sort of bring them off food slowly, and then no food during that period, and then warm them up slowly and start feeding them again.
Now, your leftovers of like your babies and stuff like that, do you drop them too as well if you have
Nah.
That's what I'm saying,
Nah,
right?
so I keep the holdbacks. Anything under 1 year of age, which is a holdback, I would keep it in a separate rack and keep its heat source on.
Okay.
Yep. So they can still be in the same room. If the ambient in the room drops, as long as their heat source is still on, so they're not freezing their tits off, then we're cool.
That's funny.
Yeah. So like the lace monitors, I didn't cool. Their heat source stayed on, but I just opened the window and let the room drop right down. But their heat source kept them warm enough.
Okay.
So
that's pretty cool.
I have all the room on automation, so like I can just tell my Google to turn everything off or on or whatever.
Yeah, you really did good with those rooms, huh?
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Yeah. I put everything on Google Automation here, so I can tell it to what time to turn on, what time to turn off. If I want to turn something on while I'm sitting here, I can just say, hey, do this, do that. I don't want to say it now because it'll start
shut everything
You
off.
don't want to say, "Hey Alexa," right?
I could say, "Hey Alexa," then it won't know. But if I said its name and then told it what to do, like I can turn all the UVs off, the UVs on, all that,
That's very cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice. So Earl from Lone Star Reptiles, he's been doing the red eye skinks.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I have been wanting some so bad. So he's been talking to me about what I'm going to need for a setup. And it sounds like it's going to be so much money just for the setup.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about those, but he does a lot with his, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was pretty expensive.
It is amazing. You walk into the room and like you can hear like a forest sounds, and I mean it is that setup. Yeah,
he has very nice setups, and so does Mike's monitors. He's got great setups for his stuff as well. Yeah, but lizards need a bit more of that. Like I've got blue tongues in tubs. But even in their tubs, like you can see there's like see that white thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like plumbing pipe, like down pipe.
Yeah.
I cut up pieces of pipe. I put fake plants in there. I put shredded newspaper in there. I put rocks. I put tiles that are like coarse, so they wear their nails down. And I change it all the time too. So like all the stuff I use can go in the dishwasher. So like if it gets dirty, I'll wash it and then I change it around the room. And I've got a closed collection, so I know that I haven't got any disease or anything. So if I wanted to take something like, let's say, a piece of pipe that's in a girl's enclosure and put it in the boys' enclosure so he can smell it and it's interesting and it's something new and it stimulates them a little bit, like I can just move stuff around. So if it gets defecated on and it's gross, I can wash it in the dishwasher. But if it's not, I just sometimes flick a few things around, make plants around, move some of the things around, and it really stirs them up. They're like, "Oh, I can smell the lizard. What's this?" So that's sort of pretty interesting. So even the blue tongues that I keep in the rack system, there's still a lot going on in each tub. It's not just like a tub and one piece of paper and a water bowl,
Right.
Because lizards are more interactive like that,
yeah, they're very inquisitive. I mean, like,
if you don't put stuff in there and have stuff in there to do, they literally just pace the tub. At the moment I've got two. Just looking at the whole room, I've got two papes in the tub, a boy and a girl who are both right in the middle of their breeding season, so they're looking to get out. But other than that, they're not pacing the tub because I haven't got anyone pacing because they're bored or they're unhappy. And I keep most at the moment. I've got 6 blue tongues in enclosures and 19 in the tub system. But I do rotate that during the year.
That's pretty cool. Okay,
because I like to give them all some time under the UV lights. They don't necessarily need UV, but it can't hurt. So I like to give them a bit of a mix around. See that girl there? Oh, where am I now? There's a girl. Can you? Oh, she just disappeared.
It looked like I seen a shadow of a tail or something.
Yeah, so there's a girl in here. She's sticking her head up and down a bit. I bred her half an hour before we came on, so she's looking for round. She's looking for round 2, which she will get later on today. So yeah, I do rotate them a little bit. I have some blue tongues that like being in the tub, and when I move them to the enclosure, they won't eat and they hide and they don't like it. And then I've got some that if they're in a tub, all they'll do is pace and they want to get out of the tub and they want to be in an enclosure. So those ones, I guess the good thing about working like full-time in my room and having the animals so close is I really do know all the individuals, like, and they are individuals. I guess they've all got their own personality and their likes and dislikes, and I know what's what. And so, like, I've got a couple of animals that will always live in an enclosure, and I've got a couple of animals that will always live in a tub because they don't like the reverse. And then I've got some that couldn't give a shit, so I rotate those. You know? Yeah.
Wow.
So, but you do need to know them, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. I was telling you at the beginning of the show, I love your new logo. And it looks like you're doing your own T-shirts now.
Yeah, so I'm doing my own T-shirts and all that.
All kinds of stuff. Sweatshirts, sweatpants.
Yeah, so I bought a heat press and I buy the logos. I get them done by a professional printer, and then I can heat press them all, so I can do all my own stuff. So I started doing that. It's a bit expensive to ship overseas. I started a Teespring store for people in the US if they want to like buy stuff, because it just gets made in America and then drop shipped to them direct. But I can make it here and ship it as well. It's just a bit more expensive.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah.
But like I told you before, man, you want to send out stickers or anything, just let me know. I'll definitely help you out over here because, you know.
Yeah, well, I just made a batch of new stickers with my new logo.
Oh, yeah.
So,
they're not the bookmarks.
No, we've upgraded from the bookmark. So we have
got a lot of slack with your bookmarks, huh?
I've got a lot of shit over this sticker, but I like this sticker. It's good. But yeah, no. So I've got I've got some new stickers with the new logo. So yeah, I just had the new logo done.
Too?
What was that? Sorry,
you making your own stickers too?
No, I get them done locally.
Okay, all right,
yeah. All right. But I got the new logo done by your sponsor.
Yeah, Sinking Pencil.
Sinking Pencil.
Yeah. And he's great, you know. So honestly, like, I hardly was able to even suggest any changes that were needed. Like he was so accurate with what I requested. You know, I just sort of said, you know, I sent some photos of me and Snoopy together, and I told them the sort of color combo I wanted to go with the yellow and the purple. I've always liked the yellow and purple as a combination. Ever since I was a little kid, I've used it for all sorts of things, and so that was sort of the combo I wanted to go with. And I wanted it to be a portrait style of me and Snoopy together, and I had some photos of that. And just did such a great job, you know, like really good. Yeah. And then I thought, well, not everyone's going to want my face on their T-shirt, you know, including myself. Like, it would be weird for me to walk around with my own face
with your mouth open.
So I thought, oh, that's probably not cool. And my kids were like, oh, we don't want your face on the T-shirt, Dad. Shit.
Oh, that's so mean. I do. I want the shirt with the big mouth open. And
yeah. Well,
yeah.
Some people will, but yeah. So I got him to do just this logo,
which I like. I like that too as well.
Yeah. So that's great. So I made myself a tracksuit with this, like, you know, jumper.
I've seen that fucking tracksuit.
Oh, please wear that on the first Bronx Down Under reunited return.
Yeah. So I did that. And yeah, I've made a few T-shirts now. Like, this is like a dark purple T-shirt, so it suits the logo. And
it looks black, but
yeah, it is. It's really dark. Like, I don't know.
Like an eggplant color.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Here we go with the eggplant talk. Look at the face.
But I think I'll get this particularly this bit. I'll get this logo done in like quite a few different colors, so I can do different colored t-shirts.
Right. Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. But yeah, no, I'm really happy with it. So, and that's just part of the fun, I guess. You know, like, I think the whole thing's fun. You know. So.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot of work, even, trying to put yourself out there in the podcasting and the logos and everything that goes with it, starting off in this, I don't even know what you want to call it. People say collecting or hobby or whatever.
I think
it's really expensive.
Yeah, I think marketing yourself, to get at least your base following and everything else, and then eventually, I mean, it comes with, it just flows, right? I mean,
yeah,
you got 70,000 followers on Instagram.
65.
Oh, he knows the exact number, and if you don't follow him back, he's kicking your ass off there.
65.2 it is at the moment. It was more. So I had one reel go extremely viral last year. It got 92.3 million views on Instagram. And it just blew my phone up for like weeks and weeks. And I went from about 20,000 followers to 70,000 followers within a few weeks. Like, it was just really crazy.
What was that video?
It was a bearded dragon shed video.
Not you peeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Emma taking the bearded dragon, taking the shed off a bearded dragon, which is totally fine to do. They're dead skin cells. Yep. The animal's been moisturized. It's just coming off. You're not hurting the animal. But it does create a bit of controversy with some of the pet keepers that think, you should never do that. You're going to hurt your animal.
Including an OnlyFans lady.
Yes, but I had people as extreme say things like, "Oh yeah, helping remove the shed will give the animal skin cancer." Like, it's just like it's crazy, some of the stuff they say. So anyway, it's still a pretty cool reel. I really love that reel. I thought I was really happy with the way I edited it, the music, the lighting. It just was a really was one of my favorite ones I've done. And yeah, it went viral. So yeah, got 92 million views and it blew my page up. So my page got to about 70, low 70s, like 72, 73,000 followers. But you don't know how many of them are bots because the page is going viral, or it's people that liked the page because they thought that reel was cool, but then they realize, oh, this is like a page educating you about lizards. I don't give a fuck about lizards. So you slowly lose some of those people that aren't genuine reptile interested people. So over about a year, I've gone from say low 70s down to like 65,000. But and you do have some days you gain some followers and some days you lose some followers. When you've got that many followers, there are ups and downs, and if you're just constantly looking at the number, it would be frustrating. But I enjoy making the videos and the photos, and I enjoy doing the content, and so I just making the content really for me. And if the page goes up, if I get another one go viral, great. If I don't, whatever. I'd like the page to grow again. But I really need another video to go viral again, to do that. That's how you get the big jumps,
Well, I guess I need to work on myself then, because I'm terrible about putting out shorts and everything else. What do you do with a ball python to make a short interesting,
Yeah, look, I don't know about how to get snakes to go crazy. You know what I mean?
So I do my puppy now.
Yeah.
I had to stick her in the other room. She's being a little handful today.
But yeah, I've learned a lot. Like, I watch a lot of other, big pages, like Brian Barczyk and stuff like that. And obviously I don't talk to him as much anymore because he's been unwell, and I don't want to bother him in that. But, like Brian, Brian follows my page, and I used to talk to Brian a bit about different content and different ways to make the videos go better, and he's really helpful. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, but I don't ask him questions about trying to help my page anymore while he's going through his own stuff. But yeah, I'm still internet friends with Brian. It's really nice.
That's cool.
We'll have to pick your brain about that, because we're trying to do different things to even get this channel to grow.
Yeah, well, I did. If you look at the people I follow, if you check my follower list, there's a page on my list of people that I follow, which is that you'll be able to search, and her page is called Dahlia Born Photography. So she's a photographer from Switzerland. She's got 370,000 followers on Insta, and she makes reel tutorials and teaches you how to make like reels to suit music. So there's tutorials and things you can watch online. She also does like an education program, like a coaching program. So I did that with her last year. So
very cool.
I did. So I did like a 12-week one-on-one program with her. So to get a time that suited us both, I had to get up at like 4 a.m. Twice a week. And we would do like a 1-hour coaching session where we would talk about my content. She would teach me about how to make videos, teach me about photography, come up with a content strategy, all sorts of stuff. So she did that one-on-one coaching with me last year, and it was actually about halfway through that coaching program when I had the viral video happen. Was during the program, yeah. So when we started doing the 12-week program together, I had 20,000 followers, and when we finished, I had 70. So
wow.
She was really great for me, like really, really great. Yeah.
So you have the Facebook, you have all your social media connections? Do you do TikTok?
Yep. I don't do TikTok. I tried TikTok for a little while, but I didn't really enjoy TikTok. So at the moment, I don't do TikTok, but I probably should. Yeah.
It's getting to where, it was good, but then people, all the controversy behind it, that they're getting away from it. Just
so I haven't got TikTok. I really like Instagram as my main one. Facebook's sort of like my backup. It just sort of shares the same stuff as I do on Instagram, and that's really where I'm at. I'm more of an Instagram guy,
Right. Yeah. Yep. Well, that's awesome. Well, I really want to thank you for coming on. I enjoyed it. And
I love you, Luke. You're a good guy.
Thank you very much.
All loves you.
Yeah, you're a good guy.
I really
shirt out of you.
Yeah. I need to send you a shirt, Paul. I forgot. I didn't realize I hadn't sent you one.
You know what? I take that back.
I feel bad. But I'll I'm really really pleased to come on your show. Your show's, so what's this, episode 21?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So it's going really well. So congratulations on your show. Yeah.
Thank
you. I appreciate it, especially coming from you. I mean, it's really neat.
Yeah. It's a journey, and I think that's all it is. I think you stay consistent. You stay consistently, and I think it'll grow.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all. So that's all we're doing. Yeah.
And with the Saturday night show, it was just like, I'm always at home, and I have nothing to do on Saturday night, so why not just sit down with a bunch of friends and
I had a great time joining in that show this week, and I'll try and come when I can. Weekends are a bit hard for me because I've got 4 kids and I'm running around doing all that sort of stuff. But, this weekend just gone worked for me, and I'll definitely be back. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. Just make it when you can if you feel like it. If you don't,
I think that's why you have so many people that are in on the thumbnail. Is because they're not all going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. You meet different people. Like I met people there I haven't met before.
Yeah.
And saw some stuff I haven't seen before, and there's a lot of ball pythons, so it was interesting to show some different animals, I guess, that maybe they're not exposed to as much. So I had a great time,
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
Variety, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, thank you for coming on. We'll talk to you backstage.
Don't go
back with you. Don't go anywhere. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Paul. What do we got going on now?
I don't know what we got going on, but I think I like. I think he's such a good guy, and the persona. Everybody has a persona, I think, and I think. I think the education of knowing the lizards and last night and everything, just solidified for me as as he's a good guy and everything, coming on and having a good time.
Absolutely. I agree. Well, I guess we'll see you backstage too.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Enjoy your night.